Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks so much for joining us. Please remember to like, share, comment on videos. Today I have a video that's a little bit different in nature, and we'll preface this with some of the things that we do as experiments just for the program here. As always, we do not recommend you try this at home. I mean that in a literal way, by the way. I don't really recommend that you get coin certified. Generally speaking, and by that I mean I don't think that you should search for coins to get certified, but we do that here. A lot of this is for fun, and you'll see in this project here that this is for fun because, you know, this is definitely just kind of a big box of maybe break even for us. And we have two different types of things that we were working on here. First of all, we've been accumulating, the engineer has been hoarding type 2 1981 Susan B. Anthony dollars, and you know, we're not going to look at them too close here. We have videos talking about the type 2 as my self-proclaimed least favorite type of coin, not the Susan B. Anthony, but the type 2 1981. So you have to look really close at that little guy there to figure out what's going on with the type 1 and type 2, sometimes called the clear S, which is also somewhat of a misnomer. So on this front half of the video, we're going to talk about percentages. The back half of the video, though, is very special because we were shooting for stars. Quite literally, we were shooting for stars. So what we were doing is we're getting a bunch of coins that had that were proofs from the 60s that had a partial cameo, and we'll get to that in a second. But we'll see how the engineer did shooting for stars. So on these guys, these 1981s, let's take a look at the rundown. So this is just stuff that's accumulated over time, cracked out, and we're going to see how many of each grade we got on these guys based on just random, just what's coming straight out of the box, right? So really, if you're sending these coins in, you need them to come back probably, if you're just buying a regular 1981 proof set, to make it worth getting certified. Maybe a 68 would work, but really a 69, you know, where they turn into $100 coins. These, I think, turn into roughly $50 coins. But 69s, how do we do, folks? So actually, on the 69s, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 came back 69, 4 came back 68, one poor little guy down here in 67, and you know, that guy is just not cutting it, guys. So overall, we had you know, okay, this is where math starts, so you guys can do the math. Anyways, we had about 2/3 of them come back in 69, which is good. I mean, but no 70s, mind you. And 70s are several $100s, and I think that was really kind of what we're hoping for on that. And also, the next coin up, we actually did the same thing with half dollars, and kind of the same thing applies to where those type 2s, you really want to get a high grade. 7, 8, 9. There you go. 7, 8, 8, 8. So not even any 9s on these guys. So, you know, when it looks, when you this is not really cherry picking for grade. This is only cherry picking for type. So the interesting thing about this is that if you're just pulling random proof sets, here we are getting a complete wipeout with no 9s and definitely no 70s. And we've got 4 and 68 and 7 and 1 and 67. Also interesting enough that we only have 5 type 2 Kennedys, whereas we had whatever that other number was. Somebody help me out here. 9 and like 13 of them, 14 of them. All right, well, let's get on to the fun stuff because I'm talking about shooting for stars. Some of you guys really like shooting for stars on the different coins. We've got this happens a lot on coins once you got back into the proof issues. And let me explain what happened. So you had 1964, they made proof coins, and then again in 1968. So, but in between, in 1965, 1966, 1967, there was a hiatus. And that's a fancy word for not making stuff. So in those years, they made what are called special mint sets. Those coins are even harder to get with any type of a proof-like finish. If you get a proof-like finish on these, there's a very specialized collector market out there looking to pay some big old buckos on here. Now, I'm not sure why we included these other than the fact that they're high grade, and I don't know exactly how high grade these would have to be, but I have a feeling that however high grade they need to be, we didn't get there. That's just not going to happen. So we've got two 67s and a 68. That 68 also has a touch of a nice little proof-like finish, but most of these special mint set coins almost look just like a basic BU coin. You know, they'll have that kind of finish to it that you're seeing right there. Not as many will have kind of a little PL feel to it, but if you can get one of these coins to look like that, you know, you're getting in the hundreds of dollars to start kind of coin. So the star designation for NGC is eye appeal, but also they very specifically denote when you have a coin from this time period that has a proof finish to it, and you've got a nice cameo effect on one side, but not the other, that is what they consider to be star material. So here we got this 1968. Here is a 1969, and you can start to see the difference in what a coin that has really what I would call an ultra cameo on the left and a cameo on the right. And you see how the parts of the face are white-ish and not actually white. But this coin has the cameo effect on both sides. So you're getting the feeling right now that they're probably going to give a different designation to those coins. So this one looks a little bit more like the first one as far as the white goes all the way across all of the design. And that holds through on both sides. And of course, you really want that to hold true on all of what's known as the devices, that is the design elements. So all of those little stars, you want to make sure that those actually have that same look to them. All right, so we got these 69s, 1969. Let's go through, we'll do these 68s and 69s, and then we'll get to the 70s and see how we did. Interesting kind of set of stuff here. You know, how are they going to break as far as what's going to have a star, what's going to have a cameo, what's going to have an ultra cameo, what's going to have the most value. You know, here you have another one with a nice cameo effect to it, and it's on both sides. So this guy, of course, had only this this guy actually has the strongest frosting out of all of them. That contrast is incredible. But nothing on the backside. So this did get the star. So stars upon stars, that's a good one. Next up, this guy here, we had a cameo. So we had darkness and lightness on both sides. That black and white finish. This 69 did not get a cameo because the back is just too faded. You can see, especially once again when you work with angles, what they're looking for, because as you go to just we're completely flat, you go to slight angle and it darkens up a little bit. Let's see if this does the same thing. You see how this is whiter? You see how at this same angle the coin is still white? Let's switch positions so we're not messing with the lighting too much. The lighting will affect it a little bit, so your positioning affects it. Let's try to get them closer together here and see on these two coins. The reality is that on the cameo, when you get a little bit of an angle, you're still seeing white, and on the non-cameo coin, you're not. And so sometimes when you see this contrast, you think, oh, that's a cameo. But really, you want to be able to have the white still showing at an angle. And of course, if we all tend to see what we want to see. So when it's our coin, sometimes we're just like, oh yeah, that's a cameo. You kind of have to get trained by getting that contrast of like, let's look at what it should look like. Speaking of which, let's go another level here. This 69 ended up with the Ultra Cameo. And of course, the main difference between the Ultra Cameo and the Cameo is that depth of contrast between the white and the black. And having it being complete. Now I will say the back on these two coins is very similar, but you can tell just from a straight on view that this coin over the surface of the coin, over Kennedy's face, has a lot of, what would I say, it's not as deep of a white color. And once again, once you get to this coin, this one is the whitest of them all. If this coin had that on the back, it would also be the Ultra Cameo. So we've got 69S, 68 Cameo, 68 Cameo, 69, that was a 68 star, another 68 star on that guy, and a 68 Ultra Cameo. So by the way, this is after, I mean, the engineer picks these, this is, going through, I don't know how many sets, and we go through a lot of proof sets, so hundreds maybe, I mean 100, dozens, I don't know, it's a lot, whatever it is that he has to go through. So, but it's pretty impressive to get stars at all. So then we're going to move on to the 1970s. 1971 is an issue that pretty much the coins came cameo to start with. So now we're going to go, and I'm going to show you some of these, and you guys can tell me as we go through them, just write down for yourself, cameo or not cameo. You can do it however you want to. I'm actually going to put these coins in graded chronological order, which apparently they are currently not in. By the way, this is a silly thing that because I'm not that organized of a human being, generally speaking, but I've had a lot of stuff come back from NGC lately that is not in chronological order in the box, and that just bugs me to no end. All right, so this way they're in order. So when we look at the serial number, that number there, 032, just so I remember what's going on here, and you can keep track. So okay guys, Cameo, Ultra Cameo, star on this first coin 70S. I will lead the jury on this first one here. We've got kind of a more flat look, and then we've got pretty bold. Stars upon thars. Good work everybody. I know you all got that one right. Here we go. We got the next contestant, number 33, hanging out. Tell us your hometown, number 33, where you're from. All right. So we've got pretty strong on one side, weak on the other. Did we get the star? We got the star. I'm actually pretty impressed that we found that many stars. I didn't ask the engineer for how many years he's been hoarding these things. All right, so this guy, also as far as grade goes, most of these coins have come back fairly high grade, 7, 8, 9, and which is, of course, why 9 was scared of 7. No, wait, 10 was scared of 7? Somebody was scared of, everyone's scared of 7. Because 7, 8, 9. So this one we've got decent white on both sides. So this, I think, compared to the other ones, we were looking probably to get a cameo. It has a little bit of darkness on both sides. Dark and light contrast on both sides. Here we go with number 35. And sometimes I just wonder if they just feel like, I'm not going to give you all cameos. You guys aren't good enough. I find this one, once again, that cameo, non-cameo thing between those two coins to be a little bit silly. Silly people. I mean, we're only paying him money to do this. So 1970S. This one was interesting because, you've got, once again, that real nice obverse and you can see on the reverse, a little bit light. So, but got the star out of it, which is good. And here's another one with a super bold obverse. I think actually a large group of these were together. So historically, these type of coins, they were kind of close in production process and shipping. So if you get a box with one coin that looks like this and it's original box, there's a pretty good chance that the other 4 coins will look similar. All right, star, no star, cameo, no cameo. Some stars, lots of stars. You know, it's funny because I don't know why the older Kennedys look attractive in cameo. And maybe it's because I know that these coins come not cameoed. So this one's difficult here, but this one I wouldn't have, I agree, I wouldn't have cameoed or starred at all. It's just really kind of faint on both sides. The back's very faint. And for the ones that they've starred, they've mostly had a really strong cameo. So that guy got nada. And then this guy here, we've got a little bit similar in the fact that it's very glossy on the backside. Not as bright on the front side as some of these other guys are, but proof 69. This was the only 69, by the way, in the group. The rest of these guys that we got were all 8s, right? We had 1 7 up front. Ocho, ocho, ocho. Oh, there's a 7. 8 8 8. Yeah, 1 7, 1 9, and then the rest were 8s. So good to know on those guys. These guys jump a lot. Most of these coins, by the way, for the guys who are doing like the hardcore registry set guys, some of these coins in the late 60s and early 70s in proof, just ignoring even the cameo aspect, but to get a 70, there are coins like you would never expect, like a 1971 proof 70 cent. That's like a couple grand, $1,500, something crazy. So anyways, guys, hopefully that helps you identify some fun stuff out there for those of you who are going to try getting coins graded yourself. As always, I still recommend just buy the coins you like in the holder you want, and then you don't have to feel the pain. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.